The first meeting of the Flux staff took place in mid-November. It was just a few days after the election. And 17 journalism students just kind of sat around a conference room. And then we got down to talking stories. And we got a lot of story pitches about politics, but we noticed that it wasn't just politics, it was politics in a new way, right? What makes it personal? How can we foster conversation through storytelling? And so we struggled to articulate it for quite some time. It wasn't a few weeks into the process until we finally said, you know, what we're talking about is democracy. We have a story about Oregon women representing females in politics. We have a story about 5 teenagers who are suing the government for climate change. We have a story about a woman who's looking at a different model for healthcare. These aren't really the stories you think about when you think about politics, right? They're not the traditional figures who sit at the front of the room and make a decision, but they're people working for change in their immediate communities.
I think one of the stories that really reflects the personal aspect is the Dear Oregon project. And that idea came from a place of, hey, like, people are talking about politics right now a lot, but we're kind of caught in these ruts. My team, your team, red, blue, like all those kind of divides. And so what the students wanted to do with that project was, try to find a way to break people out of those ruts. The idea we hit on was to reach out to people like all across the state and have people write letters to the state.
So one of the things we were really fortunate to do with Flux is actually visit a lot of the letter writers in person.
So they put on 1,500 miles, traveled to corners of the state, hit coastal communities, ranching communities in the Cascade Mountains, talking with fly fishermen out in Wallowa County, right? So really spanning the geography of the state. And it's a massive state. So it was a really big undertaking.
And that's something that not a lot of journalists do. You don't get a lot of folks going to these communities in Eastern Oregon and just having a conversation with people about how they feel about, where they live. It was about us going in there and listening.
Flux not only has this great opportunity to continue doing this rich storytelling that it's done for decades now, but also has this opportunity to be a national leader in engaging with communities. Telling great stories isn't enough. You got to find a way to speak authentically to the communities that you serve. And sort of the guiding spirit of Flux going forward is how do we authentically connect with communities? So we're not just writing stories about something, but we're writing stories for a certain community.
The Flux staff really cares about putting out the best product, and they care about storytelling, and this is what they love to do. They all have an incredible future because of that.